week, in fact, or last week, in Northern Ireland, somebody threw a petrol bomb at the house of the guard at a fracking place. And fracking is something which they're threatening to do about 25 miles away from where I grew up. And I think what's really difficult in these situations is that people need to live. And there's also a gold mine being built fairly near where I'm from. And it's really ripped the entire community apart because some people want £10,000 and a new gate and a new access road, and they want iPads for the primary school because that's really nice. And what are these people supposed to do? It's not as if they can go get another job. And the kind of place that I come from a village with 500 people. There's nothing, you know, there's nothing. And I went home and I lived there for 4 months and I drove 60 miles a day to work in a factory that made machines for the crushing for the quarry industry, you know, because that was the only place I could get a job. So actually, as much as we know that fracking is wrong and mining is wrong, if we want to actually be able to stop it, we need to offer people a way to be able to live in rural areas, to live in their ancestral homes, so that they don't have to come to London and live in awful conditions and pay through the nose, and mean that these rural areas that had civilization, like my area has the most amazing standing stones, stone circles. There was a civilization there, but I can't live there because I don't want to drive a forklift. So I think it's really important that we as activist people think about ways that we can create income, we can create meaningful work for people that means that they don't need to go and get a job in the gold mine. This is kind of about migration. Ships and relations. Gus whipped my hair like the teacher struck my daddy's hand. The master insisted his pen pal letter was a fake. A French boy wouldn't make spelling mistakes. I lashed down my dirty blonde with a headscarf like my ancestors did on less fancy ships than this. The most radioactive sea in the world disconnects Britain and Ireland. I migrate for mischief. I'm the scrumper, the stowaway. My second time in London, I realised this is where they put all the stuff. The equivalent of the good living room, where the priest has tea and no one is allowed to sit, just serve. Asda or the army, abattoir or chicken factory, forklift driver or mushroom picker. What would you have me be? The occupations of my family tree: breadman, shopkeeper, governess, gardener, publican, farmer. And if scientists are right, that if your grandmother was malnourished, it affects your genes, and your genes can be changed over the course of your lifetime, and everything is fixed while in flux, like the ship cutting through the currents. Now the mother of the first mixed-race child in my family faces deportation because her husband's law PhD doesn't pay the required amount to keep the mother of his child in this country. Yet every graduate with a hard-on for Asian chicks can descend upon that continent. Cart my cousin off to Christchurch with his toddling twins to paper over earthquake cracks. Mould some hash to a Spanish granddad's ass. Fly him to London to a squat where the water is barely working. Now vans clog London proclaiming go home. Tell that to Roald Dahl or Sylvia Plath. Where is home when the bungalow that bore you constricts a Catholic mother praying for her lesbian daughter? When a country where poet was once the highest order has little more than retail on offer.
Whoa!